It's hard to look at these things the same way ever again. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Stephen King ruined for us. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the everyday objects, places, and/or situations that have taken on a dark twist ever since the horror master got a hold of them.
We were thinking of upgrading you to a penthouse suite.
1408, please.
Number 10. Cell phones. Given the dependence a lot of people have on their electronics, some folks might wish he'd ruined this one a bit more. In his 2006 novel Cell, which was later adapted to a film of the same name, after an event known as the Pulse, using a cell phone becomes deadly and transforms anyone who turns one on into a raging zombie. Insert throwaway joke about how smartphone users are already zombies. Anyway, after reading or watching this story, you'll probably think twice about answering that call or text because, like, what if, right?
Don't use your cell phone! What? They did.
Number 9. Kink. Anyone who's ever engaged in a little BDSM will tell you that the most important thing is safety.
This is good, you'll like this.
However, poor Jessie Burlingame is anything but safe when an attempt to spice up a problematic marriage goes horribly wrong, and she's left handcuffed to a bed, her husband dead on the floor. Although, given some of the terrible husbands King has created over the years, that might be for the best.
You scared me. It don't matter. You won't be scared long.
If the 50 Shades series got people interested in bondage play, Gerald's game does precisely the opposite. And as Jessie fights to survive, you might find yourself thinking twice about real handcuffs or other durable apparatuses during sexy times.
You can pull till your wrists break. You're not getting out of those cuffs.
Number 8. Other people. You think you know a guy. Help! If there's one thing that defines the work of Stephen King, it's his ability to look down the streets of everytown America and make us wonder what really goes on over the garden wall. In King's suburbia, the monsters aren't in the woods or high up in a lonely tower. Okay, well, sometimes they are, but often they live right next door.
Don't trouble your pretty little head, dear. I'll get it.
In works like It, Salem's Lot, and The Outsider, audiences are forced to question how much they really know about the people who make up their communities, even those they think they know.
Look at me.
Number 7. Cars and trucks. Nothing like packing up the car and hitting the open road, right? Well, you might think twice about that if you're familiar with these infamous automobiles. In From a Buick 8, an abandoned car turns out to be a portal to a hellish alternate dimension. Similarly, Christine, the eponymous car from the 1983 film and novel, is almost literally hell on wheels, while killer cars are taken to a whole new level in the notoriously panned Maximum Overdrive. The danger surrounding cars is usually reserved for bad driving, but in the King multiverse, even empty vehicles are deadly. Number 6. Children and childhood innocence. There are so many creepy kids throughout the SK canon, it's almost impossible to list them all.
Question not my judgment, Malachi. I am the giver of his word.
Gage Creed, Danny Torrance, Charlie McGee, Isaac Kroner, they're all creepy for different reasons, and they'll all make you wonder if your own little kid, niece, nephew, or even the brat you babysit can start fires with their mind or talk to the dead.
Danny's gone away, Mrs. Torrance.
Or you'll wonder about your own childhood and what your coming-of-age moment was. Hopefully it didn't involve finding a dead body. Many of King's young heroes also have complicated or strained relationships with their parents.
Why can't you have friends like Denny's?
Dad, they're okay.
Sure they are. A thief and 2 Phoebes.
Well, if you're gonna ruin childhood, might as well bin trustworthy mentors and parental figures too.
Look at them now, boys. Ain't nothing like a little fear to make a paper man crumble.
Number 5. Prom.
He's gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you.
For many students across North America, prom is an important milestone. After all those years of hard work, it's a decadent send-off into the wider world.
You'll never forget it. I don't think I will.
However, since the mid-70s, even if it's not explicitly mentioned, thanks to Carrie White, no prom is complete without a joke or thoughts about pig's blood. With bullying and school violence a bigger problem now than ever, stepping into the glitz and glam of a senior prom is not without its stressors. Odds are your prom is not going to end with a telekinetic temper tantrum, but better make sure the exits aren't blocked just in case. Number 4. Pets. It's pretty hard to flat out ruin pets. However, have you ever wondered just how easily they might turn on you? What if your little furry friends weren't so friendly anymore? In Cujo, a big doofy St. Bernard goes from cuddly canine to killer simply because he chased a rabbit down the wrong hole. And in Pet Sematary, Louis Creed's attempt to give his cat Church a second chance at life leads to some very bleak places.
How the hell did you get in here?
You'd be forgiven if the next time you let the cat in, you wondered just where they'd been, and if you really knew them at all.
Lie down. Play dead. Be dead!
Number 3. The state of Maine. Few authors have become so tightly connected to their home state as Stephen King. While generally less emphasis is placed on location in the film adaptations, in the books, constant readers have been regularly reminded that the Pine Tree State is the place for a scare. The fictitious towns of Derry, Castle Rock, and Jerusalem's, also known as Salem's Lot, are all located in King's Maine, as is Shawshank Prison. But other real small towns are also employed, giving them extra creep factor. Now when people head to vacation land, it's not just lobster and rocky beaches tourists have in mind, but vampires, otherworldly mists, aliens, and general spookiness. Number 2. Hotels. Before The Shining, Gothic horror was generally reserved for old mansions. However, King cleverly replaced creepy castles awash in ghosts with a more relatable location.
Here's Johnny.
The whole genre of haunted hotels seems to stem back to Stephen King, and it's changed the way most people view their stays. Be honest, you've definitely wondered once or twice while stepping out of your hotel room into a long empty hallway if you're gonna be invited to play forever and ever.
Come play with us, Daddy.
Thanks to King, more than one hotel goer has probably thought about what lies behind the doors of those long, quiet corridors, and maybe if some patrons have never checked out. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I know you've been out.
What?
Stop! Master did this to you! This isn't you!
Number 1. Clowns and balloons. There was a time when clowns were highly beloved entertainers.
Hi, Georgie. Aren't you going to say hello?
However, the World Clown Association has come out to say that the publication of It and its subsequent adaptations have ruined the reputation of clowns, effectively destroying their jolly image for good.
Beep, beep, Richie.
And sadly, we have to agree. More often than not, when clowns are brought up in conversation these days, it's not the smiling faces of Bozo and Ronald people think of, but the maniacal grin of Pennywise. Don't feel too bad about it though. Here, have a balloon. They float. They all float.
And when you're down here with me,
You float too!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.